About 40 kilometers north of Vancouver is a very significant patch of ice. It's the Coquitlam Glacier, smaller than many other glaciers in British Columbia, but a highly valuable scientific tool nonetheless. That's why Metro Vancouver has been documenting it since 2006.
Well, every time I come here, it seems to change a little bit. It's flattening more. There's lots more crevices and water flowing off the top of this ice.
Its melting rate, past, current, and projected, is a unique and powerful indicator of climate status right here in the Metro Vancouver region. As well, the amounts of water melting can also provide important baseline data. In fall 2018, the Metro Vancouver team returned to the site with glacier specialist John Clegg, with hopes of unlocking the glacier's secrets.
Glaciers are thermometers. They tell us exactly what climate is up to. If climate cools, if we get more precipitation, glaciers expand. If we get warmer climate, less precipitation, they retract.
One of their tasks was collecting wood from the valley below the glacier. They theorize a tree growing here was killed by the glacier during an advancing phase, when its front edge was in this location. Now, that glacier edge is about 700 meters back. The two samples were sent for carbon dating, and a few months later, they reviewed the results.
Carbon dating is a tool we use to date past events. So by dating the wood, it gives us an indication of when the glacier was much more advanced than it is today.
The first sample returned a date of 150 to 200 years back, telling the guys that during that period of time, the glacier has receded roughly 4 meters per year. The second sample was collected in the same area, but apparently from a completely different tree. It was much, much older.
Well, I just want to show you this. So here's the date here.
Oh my goodness. That's 2,490 years ago.
They reason this second piece of wood is from a tree that became icebound elsewhere when the glacier was young. It would have traveled with the glacier's moving ice. Then, as it melted, was deposited here in the valley.
If it was buried in ice, fell into a glacier. So we have a glacier that's been there
for more than 2,000 years,
yeah,
for almost 2,500 years.
This date suggests the age of the glacier overall.
From other glaciers that we've looked at in British Columbia, we know that they were pretty advanced, more advanced than they are today at that time, 2,500 years ago.
This glacier is the last one in the Metro Vancouver region. It currently faces north and doesn't get a lot of sun. This orientation has allowed it to survive longer than others on the west coast.
And this is sort of symptomatic of what glaciers are doing all through British Columbia. In fact, in most parts of the world, they're undergoing this quite significant retreat in our warming climate. If the projections in climate warming pan out as scientists think they are, this glacier will be gone by the end of the century, maybe even earlier.
Since the glacier sits in the Coquitlam drinking water supply catchment area, they also took a snapshot measurement of the late summer water runoff. It provides a baseline for future comparisons for that time of year.
So yeah, I was saying about 90 liters per second. This little glacier was producing 2% of the water that was going into the reservoir.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
They estimate the glacier holds some 8 billion liters of water. This data will help them track the rate of recession.
It's kind of that canary in the mine, you know, climate change impacting the cryosphere, the glaciers of the world. This is one example. I think that should kind of be important to people in Vancouver because it really highlights what's happening out of sight. Most people don't get up and look at what glaciers have done.
Metro Vancouver's 3 water supply areas cover 60,000 hectares. They support forests, streams, fish, and wildlife, and of course, the water supply reservoirs. The glacier's retreat points to the increased stress that is also bearing down on all these high-quality natural assets.
We're going to have our snowpacks melting earlier, so we really need to get people to conserve. Our forests are going to be drier. We might have fires, more insect outbreaks. These are the kind of things we're trying to adapt to.
Metro Vancouver is already planning responses, like Climate 2050 roadmaps, which are being developed to embed climate change strategies in all Metro Vancouver decisions and policies. Water management plans and education programs that draw attention to the importance of reducing water use. And infrastructure ideas that feature adaptations like plans for a new lower intake point in the Coquitlam Reservoir. With actions like these, and the Coquitlam Glacier's evidence, we are starting to see what lies ahead in the not-so-distant future of the Metro Vancouver region.